and welcome to Rudy Susu's Science Fantasy Experience and to a Q&A session. So I'm a relatively new YouTuber. I only started my channel in May, I believe, last year, and I'm a small YouTuber. I don't even have 100 subscribers, but I've been incredibly lucky to have an abundance of questions from my friends and subscribers across social networking and just chatting to my friends, and I thought, why not just answer them on a vlog? So yeah, just questions came in from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram, and a lot of them were quite similar, so hopefully the answers I give can cover over the question that's very similar. And I can't answer all of them, or I'm choosing not to answer all of them, as some of the questions I've been asked are what Patriot Prime asked on his sit rep, and I'm hoping to one day be invited to be on his sit rep with Patriot Prime, and I wouldn't want to spoil my answers on this video if I ever get to be on his show. And the same goes with Matthew Deluxe Baldwin. I'd love to get invited onto around 30 seconds, around 30 minutes with Deluxe. So yeah, I don't want to spoil potential questions by answering them in this video. And the questions that I do have, I have left them exactly how they were asked. Not in any chronological order of how I got asked them, or you know, on what month I got asked this question and whatnot. It's not that anal. But yeah, so question one. Why am I so small on the Figure FOURce intro? Which I've been asked this maybe 4 or 5 times, even from my own mother. So I'm Matt Tracker and Thunderhawk on the Figure FOURce intro, and I'm not small, I'm pretty much in scale. So we have got Zort Rider, and we've got Rudy Susu. I'm pretty much there or thereabouts in scale. That's how the picture kind of goes. I get to be a little bit smaller so we can have Thunderhawk in the picture. You know, that was the stipulation of when we were choosing who we get to be in terms of 80s toys on the intro. So yeah, I'm not small, I'm perfectly in scale. You know, I wasn't always going to be Matt Tracker and Thunderhawk. When we were coming up with ideas for Rich to illustrate us for the intro, I think I'd quickly said, oh, I'll be Rio from Gem and the Holograms, but I wasn't sure if everybody would get that. It's not that familiar, and I don't want that damn doll to define my collection. And then I also thrown around the idea of being Jace from Jace and the Wheeled Warriors, which would have been cool, but he actually, you know, he doesn't have a toy. If I grab Armed Force, so Armed Force comes with just a Wheeled Warrior pilot, and since Jace didn't have a toy, that was vetoed, so I could never be Jace on the screen. But then I love Mask. I had to be Matt Tracker. I had to be that with my long hair, and then it just became like, you've got to put the Thunderhawk next to me. So I'm not small on the intro, I'm perfectly scaled. Yeah, popular question. Question 2. Have I seen let me word it correctly. Have you seen the Bumblebee movie, and what are your thoughts? Yes, I've seen the Bumblebee movie. A little late to the party, I only saw it 2 weeks ago. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great plot. I thought it was acted really well. I've never been the biggest fan of the Bayverse. I started to dwindle after the third one. I kind of lost a bit of interest. I don't dislike them, but I don't overly like them either. There's some killer scenes in them, and there are some amazing robot designs. I've always liked Dark of the Moon Megatron as the beaten up truck with the shawl. I really thought that was a cool look. And there's been some super cool toys, Dispenser and the twins as the ice cream van. But as time has progressed, I lost interest in the Bayverse. But this was a great, I think, I don't want to call it a reboot, a nice reinterpretation, taking elements from, in some ways, every aspect of Transformers. Killer soundtrack. And what I was thinking about Bumblebee was, when I first started watching, I was just, oh man, it's a bit style over substance. It's over styled. And I thought, you know, I grew up in the 80s. I'm, you know, 70s baby, early 80s child. I grew up in the 80s, and the 80s did not look like the Bumblebee movie. If you want to know what 80s looks like in the UK, watch Johnny Briggs or Grange Hill. That's what the 80s look like in the UK. But then I just started to think, actually, it needs to be over stylized. It needs to look like how Transformers and those cartoons of the time looked. And then I started to really appreciate the neon colours and the brightness and the vibrancy of the movie. It is flawed, don't get me wrong. There's bits it's not that I didn't dislike it, any part of it. You know, it's in the immortal words of Alan Partridge, it's overall 7 on 10. But there was a few, this isn't even a criticism, it's not a criticism. It would have worked just as well without the G1 bits, I feel. It would have been a good standalone movie without seeing the G1 aspects of Cybertron. And being a lover of G1, I was shocked by not being fussed by it. I thought they were great scenes, but it felt like they kind of jarred with me. You'd see Cybertron and then you'd see the beauty of San Francisco. And I just actually found those quite jarring, and it looked to me kind of like a computer game. It looked like War for Cybertron. It was, I don't know if the special effects made it go like that, but I think for G1 lovers it fulfilled some of their wants as the general movie-going public. It was a nice nod for them to see where Transformers came from. I enjoyed those scenes, but in some ways I didn't need them. So yeah, they're my thoughts on the Bumblebee movie. Question 3. What 1980s cartoon do you wish had a toy line? This I've thought about a lot for years and years and years, and there's always been 3. There's always been 3 that I wish had toys, or toys were available at the time. I waited 35 years to get a Starfleet Di-X, who is, he's up here somewhere, there we go. He's not being on the screen because he's had his time to shine on so many of my videos, but yeah, as I said, I've waited 35 years to get Starfleet toys. Yes, there were toys available then, but unbeknownst to me, they were out in Japan. You're not, as a 5-6-year-old, you're not going to know that there's toys available in Japan. So yeah, that's been fulfilled. The second one is, I would have loved action figures of Dungeons and Dragons. And it looks like this might be fulfilled, as even though they're not action figures, they're figurines. They were teased at San Diego Comic-Con last year, and I've just seen yesterday some photos, and on Toy Galaxy, Dan Larson showed off photos of figurines of Dungeons and Dragons in complete screen accuracy. So yeah, that's on the way to creating, you know, 3 of my ones that didn't have a toy line. There's a place for figurines definitely in my collection, especially for someone that doesn't overly play with their action figures or transform their Transformers. You know, I don't transform everything I own. You know, MP09's never being transformed. Some Transformers aren't coming out of the boxes. You know, that's just completely sealed Insecticons. I'm desperate to open them though. It's been a long time since I played with an Insecticon, and I'd love to get out of the box, but I promised myself there's a few that I won't ever open. You know, I was with Dave and Emily on Saturday just before the toy fair, and he was like, oh, I should open this Optimus Prime in the box, the Star Convoy, and both me and Emily were like, no! And then, like, secretly I kind of wanted him to open it, but I'm never going to say that. It's only a reissue, he could open it, I guess, but it's just, at the moment in time I was like, don't open it. So yeah, on the way to getting 2 of those, as I said. But the third one, this is the one that I have thought about a lot and created in my mind how the toy line would be, in what scale, what accessories, what playset, how it would be, and that is Pole Position. I would have loved toys and action figures of Pole Position. It's one of my favourite cartoons. It was definitely one of my favourite cartoons of the time, and I would have loved I guess G.I. Joe Action Force 3 3/4 scaled vehicles and figures with posability, or even a little bit smaller, maybe Mask, of Rudy, Wheels, and Dan and Daisy. You know, I thought about it so much that you could get a 2-pack of Dan with a little Kuma, and then you could get little blocks of Rudy and Wheels that fit onto the robot bodies that they have, and they could be interchangeable with the vehicles. I was thinking, you know, if I grab Mask Hurricane, that would be the perfect scale, and the perfect kind of the way that the function works with Mask vehicles, that the hydrofoil on Rudy could come underneath, the wings could pop out, the wheels could float down when they go into hover mode, and the same with Wheels. They could all be, you know, that amazing. And then you could have your different price points. You could have generic bad guys that came on, you know, on card backs and with the different waves along there. You could then have a larger playset of a folding out truck that they had where the command center was. You know, that could be, you know, the big rig lorry, and it all folds out, and you've got the command center, and you can drive them into the back of theirs, akin to G1 Optimus Prime, where you could put the different Autobots in, because they all fit perfectly into the G1 trailer, and Masterpiece, MP10. And then the playset, you know, the Boulder Hill, the Castle Grayskull would be a stunt arena where you could have them perform all the stunts that they saw in the show. And then, you know, just because there's always artistic license when it comes to toy lines, you know, Turtles went crazy with what they create, stuff that was never even on the screen. You can get away with bits like that. Kenner did it with Star Wars. If you think about the small sets, they dub them as just off screen. Those toys, I would have loved Pole Position, and it's my dream for it to one day become made. You know, you see HasLab with Jabba's sail barge. If they can do that, surely, you know, a Kickstarter, or, you know, Hasbro own Kenner, we could see the return of Pole Position through that, with the techniques that were once done in the 80s and how they're improved now. As I said, I've given this a hell of a lot of thought, and you could do this nostalgia packaging. You know, the stuff that I've seen with the NECA Kenner Terminator 2 action figures. It's ready for a nostalgia fest for the likes of me, the highly obsessed 40-year-old toy vlogger that loves bits and pieces like that. So yeah, That's a big answer to that question. Question 4. This is exactly how this question was written. Is Powermaster Prime really that good? So I know this subscriber quite well, and I'm always banging onto him about the Powermaster Prime. And it really is that good. For me, it could be the best G1 toy ever made. It could be a challenger for the greatest toy of the 1980s. It could be a contender for the greatest toy of all time. This is how good I feel and how in awe of the awesomeness. It wouldn't be a Science Fantasy Experience video without me saying how awesome a toy is. And let me grab him for you. He's everything that I could want in a toy, and he really is that good. He's big, chunky, robust. There's chrome, there's parts forming, there's 3 modes. It's a hefty chunk. As an adult collector, it fills you with nostalgia for someone who loves G1 and who absolutely loves even more the Japanese continuity. Seeing that later on in life, it bridges a whole lifetime of toy awesomeness. I never had it as a kid, but my next door neighbour did, and he was, I think he was three or 4 years younger than me, so he missed out on the original Optimus Prime release, and he had Powermaster Optimus Prime. So we would always swap, because I'd had Optimus Prime for my 5th or 6th birthday, and I'd had it a couple of years, and then Powermaster Prime came out, so we would swap and play with each other's primes. And then to finally get it later on in life, that's what makes it the best G1 Transformer. It's parts forming, can be a no-no for some people, but for me it only embellishes on the toy. It's people got to explore it again when the commemorative edition came out, and it's had a couple of super cool repaints. We've got Nucleon Quest Optimus Prime from the late 90s, where he was done in a black deco. No, I don't even mean Nemesis Prime. He's got blue windows, and he's still got the blue Autobot insignia. And you've got Fire Guts God Jinray, the bright orange and orange chrome edition, and then I think there's a super rare translucent version, and there is a hilarious knockoff one that I think came out maybe 10-15 years ago. I've mentioned it before on Zort Rider's Truck Nut Monkey video. It's the toy that just keeps giving. So yes, is Powermaster Prime really that good? Yes, it is. And then question 5. Is it a rug or carpet? It is a rug. And this is in reference to my series called Childhood Toys. It's a rug. It's not the carpet, it's a rug that we had a couple of years ago. And I specifically chose to film on the rug for a couple of reasons. One, it's super comfortable. And 2, it reminds me of the carpet as I had as a child. We had this big thick green carpet as a kid, and I always played my toys on the carpet. And because I'm only reviewing my childhood toys in that style, I kind of wanted to get down on the floor and just play with them in a review style. In some ways I totally took inspiration from Matthew Deluxe Baldwin, because he does Floor Time, where after he's kind of been in front of the camera, he takes us down to the floor and shows that the toy's being played with other toys in different scales. I took a big inspiration. I say inspiration, I totally ripped him off, right? But yeah, it just, doing it on the floor invokes the passion that I have for the toy, and in some ways it helps me review, just because it's just like how I used to play with those specific toys from my childhood. So yeah, it is a rug. And that's it. I chose 5. I don't want to make a Q&A video way too long, you know, in terms of being a YouTuber and watching YouTube videos. Sometimes I switch off and I lose interest at half an hour or 45 minutes. So that is it. 20 minutes worth of Q&A with Rudy Zissou and the Science Fantasy Experience. If you want to ask me a question, whack it in the comments. Find me on Facebook. Check out my Instagram. I don't post on there much. But yeah, just drop me some questions, and I'd love to do another Q&A. There's somebody asked me a question today, actually, at work, all about who is my Batman. So that's a potential one for another day. And it definitely, I'd love a conversation, a Q&A about 80s cartoons. It's my passion. I live for watching them and the toys surrounded with them. So yeah, drop a question in the comments or find me on Facebook. Try and grab me on Messenger. I keep trying to grab Powermaster Prime. We keep trying to message each other and set up a video chat, but we both keep forgetting that he's like 5 hours ahead. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to bed now, mate. So yeah, I'm well up for chats on Messenger or anything like that, and then start the ball rolling and give me some more questions to answer. And if you do see any toys in the collection, point them out, and I'll do a Tales from the Toy Shelf, or I'll review it. I've definitely got a couple of reviews coming. I've got a review of Hair Fiend, and we've got G1 SharkCon. The quest for mass continues. Anything you want me to review. I'll even review something that's already been on the screen before. Let's not be afraid to revisit toys that have once been on your channel before. So thanks for watching, and take care. I'll see you all on the next video. Bye.